Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV. I'm your host Phil Leonard.
And I'm your host Josh Summersgill.
On today's episode we have Fraer Morrow. Fraer is a weightlifter. She's competed at the Commonwealth Games and consistently placed in the top 10 in the junior weightlifting championships over the last few years. So I'll ask her a few more things about that, but first I have got to mention our new sponsor, our sponsor X Endurance. If you are interested in X Endurance, you can check them out on the website xendurance.eu, and on their website, if you're training twice a day or you're getting it's a running joke by the way, if you're training a lot, then they do have their recovery blend, which is awesome. You can check that out and you can get 20% off with the code AgogeTV. That's AGOGETV 20. So check that out. So Fraer, let me pass it over to you. Basically, first things first, how did you get into weightlifting? Because it's an unusual sport for people to get into to start with.
It is, and where I'm from, no one even knows what weightlifting is. They think I'm just a girl that goes to the gym.
Everyone thinks you do bodybuilding, right? That's how.
Yeah, like standing on stage posing, or what do you bench is the biggest question I get.
More than you.
Yeah.
But importantly, what do you bench? Because if it's more than me, we're going to start the podcast right now.
Phil's on dodgy grounds because you're already snatching clean and jerk. So he's like...
I think I can do 60.
60? Oh, that's okay. I'll let you
Yeah.
Which
it's more than body weight. So
okay, we can be friends.
All right. Yeah. So I got into it. I did gymnastics for 10 years before all the weightlifting. And I was getting to the point in gymnastics where I weren't really improving anymore. It was also a time where I was like putting a bit of weight on as well. I think I must have been about 13, 14.
Okay.
And I still enjoyed it. Like I'll always have a love for gymnastics, but I wanted to find something that would help me lose a little bit of weight, but has also kind of got a little bit of gymnastic-y skills in it as well.
Yeah.
So that's when I found CrossFit.
Right.
And
okay.
This must have been by like chance, or I don't know what it was, but the place I did gymnastics, literally a 5-minute walk and you're at a CrossFit box.
Right.
So that's crazy because it was like the only one in Doncaster, which is where I'm from, at the time. So I just went there and just said, told them about my sporting background with gymnastics. And as a kid, I did loads. I did swimming, dancing, a bit of athletics. Like I was always doing something. Went there and then I really, really enjoyed it. I ended up doing like 2 sessions a day. I used to go at 6 o'clock in the morning, do a session, go to college, then get back from college and then do another session as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think I did that for about a year, and then because obviously in CrossFit you do the weightlifting movements, I liked the strength side more than like the running and the rowing. I hated it, like with passion.
Good choice.
Completely understand. I hate running and rowing as well. It's just the only things that I'm good at.
Yeah. It was like it makes you feel sick as well, and like I say I'm 5 foot. I'm 4'11", but we'll say I'm 5 foot. Being that small, trying to row isn't.
It's not.
Feel you, bro. Feel you.
It's horrible.
Josh is about 4'11" as well, and he doesn't like
4'12". You're right.
So that's basically how I got into, because I decided that I'd want to concentrate more on the lifting side than the CrossFit side. And my coach entered me into it was ran by a CrossFit club, but it was a weightlifting competition.
Right,
so it was still like the bar goes up in weight, but they weren't actual weight classes. It was based on like body weight to whatever you're lifting.
Nice and clear.
Yeah. So I went there, like, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I went in like one of my old gymnastics leotards and a pair of shorts.
Brilliant.
And I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just did what my coach told me to do, and I ended up winning the competition. And there was a GB talent scout there, and he kind of spoke to my coach, my CrossFit coach at the time. And then after that, it was like, you need to kind of choose if you want to go to the Olympic path or the CrossFit Games path.
Don't tell Claire to me that.
What a thing to be told, what an offer.
I
like,
know.
do you want the CrossFit Games or the Olympics? Like, wow. What a great question.
I could maybe do both, but
one of my questions was, I have seen you doing muscle ups on Instagram.
Yeah.
So you obviously got some CrossFit skills going on there. No, it's not just a case. It's not just like you were like, oh, I'm average at CrossFit, because I don't know how many girls have we got at the gym? 2 that can do muscle ups.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive in itself.
Well, when I went to the CrossFit box, because it was a month before I turned 16, so they were kind of a bit like, oh, well, you're not 16 yet, you're technically not allowed to train. And I was like, yeah, but I can do it. I know I can do it. So I just went for like a taster session. And to be fair, the only new things that I had to learn was the weightlifting, snatch and clean and jerk. Like obviously with gymnastics, we would do squats, but instead of a barbell, it'd be a human being stood on your shoulders doing squats. So I did have the strength side to it.
Awesome.
It was just learning technically how to do it.
Yeah, so to be honest, if somebody walks in our gym and says to me, I did gymnastics for 10 years, I'm like, yes. I'm like, this is going to be so easy. Here's a barbell.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So obviously from weightlifting, and again, he's like, most people do, weightlifting, from gymnastics, most people do age out of weightlifting at about 13, 14, don't they? And they either go into coaching or find another sport. We should start recruiting young gymnasts. In fact, that sounds like we're grooming people. We'll stop that. I'll call that. That's enough.
Oh, you that, bro?
Maybe I was going to be like, maybe we should recruit some 14-year-old girls, and I thought better now that I can't say that. So from there, obviously, you went on to weightlifting, and then you went to the Commonwealth. And what was that experience like? Can you elaborate on it for us?
I can't even explain what it was like, because when I moved from CrossFit to weightlifting, the whole 2 years was just like from 0 to 100. Like I was in it straight away. I was competing at the English, the British. I think that my first year, so I did CrossFit, and then I did a year of weightlifting, and then I qualified for the European Juniors in the end of 2016. So yeah, I'd only been lifting a year. So it kind of just went, it was mad, like it just went straight away. And then qualifying for the Commonwealth Games, like I knew I wanted to go, and I just had to keep on top of everyone else that was in my weight class. So if someone got a total a kilo more than mine, I'd do a competition and move the standard up again, just so I was always in front. So I knew I had that spot to go.
Awesome.
And then the Commonwealth Games, it's my first time, my first time doing anything big like that, and it's crazy to see how many other countries are there, how many athletes are there, how many people actually go and support your sport.
Yeah.
I think because it was in Australia, I think weightlifting and CrossFit in Australia is quite big as well.
Yeah.
So there was my weight class isn't a popular one that people will go and watch, and it was mad to see how many people was actually there watching. But standing on the stage performing in front of people, I did it in gymnastics, I did it with CrossFit, and it's what I do.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. Like some people, they get really nervous, but for me, I can use them nerves to help me perform.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's a great attitude to have as well. Am I right in thinking that you finished 5th as well?
Yeah.
So you weren't far out of podium.
No, I wasn't. And I don't know what actually happened with this, but the girl who came first, she was from India. And I think a year after we'd done the Commonwealth Games, I think she actually got caught for illegal substances.
Right, okay.
Right.
But I don't know if that actually went through. But I'm saying it does. So push me up to 4th.
So yeah, you finished 4th at the Commonwealth.
Performance enhancing donuts. That's what I'm calling.
So I do a little bit of research before you come on, and I've basically got a Wikipedia page about you, and you know you've made it when you're on Wikipedia. But you hit a 73 snatch and a 99 clean and jerk.
Yes.
99. Oh.
Yeah. And that was at 53 kilo as well. And for me, like looking back now, I was like, why did we just put 100 on? Just make it 100. But then at the time, I'd already got a PB on my second lift.
Right.
So and then to add another 4 or 5 kilos, like it were a big jump.
Yeah.
And I can just remember my coach came up to me and he was like, "You're gonna get this because you need it." I was like, right, okay. They didn't tell me what was on it at first. They were just like, "You just need it, so get it." So I was like, okay.
A common theme that, as it.
I was going to say we've heard that before. That seems to be like
David Davies said the same thing. It's like, you don't need to know what's on it, but you can lift it. Like, okay.
It's the GB coaches. That's what it is.
I said that I think I'd prefer that. I would much rather not know what's on the bar and someone just go do that, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. I'm really bad at maths as well, so even like walking onto the platform, I didn't have a clue what was on it. I can just remember walking on, and I was just looking down, telling myself, "This is going to be heavy, and it's going to take the life out of you. But just keep pushing. If you keep pushing, you're going to do it."
I think that's why they went 99, because you walk on and you look at that bar and you go, well, that's 100. Like, that's a really obvious number.
Yeah, the difference, so when you're in the 90s, it's a red and a green, but as soon as it goes to 100, it's a red and a yellow. So it's
yellow.
It's a big thing, yeah.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I think I would have been happy with whatever I'd got, but getting that 99 was the highlight of the Commonwealth Games.
For sure. Just on record since then, you have hit in a 55 kilogram weight class, you've hit 102 and 78 as well. So you have broke that 100 barrier as well. And think going off your Instagram, you're consistently lifting way over that now, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I actually did a max out today.
Right.
So me and my coach decided just to see where I was at. So I've actually cut to 55 kilo and went and did some maxes today. Didn't get what I wanted, but I got a 4 kilo PB overall. So
nice.
I can't be mad.
I'd love to be fuming with that.
I was going to say, I'd be furious with a 4 kilogram PB too.
I think just because I know what I want and I know where I should be, then it's like, oh, well, yeah, it's 4 kilo PB, but I know I can do more.
So your plates that you use at home, I've always wondered, like when I've seen you lifting and stuff, are they really big, or is it just because you're so small? Like, are they normal size? Because they look like wheels.
They are bigger than normal plates, but I think it's a bit of both as well.
Right,
They're the strength shop ones.
Right. Okay.
I feel like it's a bit like that. What I'd really want to see. I want to see you lifting next to like half 4 and just like just to see the difference.
Stand next to like Lasher or someone like that.
yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Have you seen the Alika orange plates, the 100 kilogram ones? They're like this big. I don't know if they're out yet. They're bright orange and they're about this thick. 100 kilograms of plate.
Not required.
That's crazy.
One of them on each side of the bar. So I don't even know if I can deadlift that.
Yeah. I need to be able to pick it up. I have to
Who
roll
needs
it.
them plates? Who needs them? There's no need.
Oh. Something that does depress me as well is you're only 21, so you are me being 31, being 10 years older than you.
You're 31 now.
Yeah, 31.
Oh shit!
Do you know what I've been telling everyone? I've been telling everyone I'm 30, and then Emma reminded me the other day that I'm not. I'm 31 now. I was like, bitch, she's right.
Roll with it.
Just go along with it.
It's like, no, I'm still 30, and she's like, no, I don't think you are. So yeah, I'm 30. I'm 9 years older than you. So basically, where my question was going is, you're still quite young. Have you got, what are your goals in the future? What are you planning on? And this isn't a job interview, by the way, but
who you want to work in a CrossFit bar?
But yeah, so what are you? What's the plans for the future? What are you trying to achieve, basically?
With weightlifting or?
Weightlifting, life. You take that question where you like.
Life. I don't know.
I didn't know at 21
I honestly
either.
don't have a clue.
Still don't know.
Yeah, I think because while I can make weightlifting one of the top priorities, I will do that for as long as I can. So like I want to medal at the next Commonwealth Games, and then hopefully go for
Birmingham, isn't it? Next one.
Yeah, home games as well.
I know, like it's going to be great for us, like you guys, because obviously it's at England and it's at home. But it's a bit of an anticlimax, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You've got like
from
the
Australia,
Gold
Australia,
the
Birmingham,
NEC in Birmingham.
It was so funny because when we was at the closing ceremony in 2018, they showed like a preview of the Birmingham.
Oh no!
And all of us who were like from England were just sat there like, oh my god! Like you can't even make it look good.
Birmingham is what it is. No offense to anyone that's from Birmingham, because Warrington's no better, but it kind of is what it is.
Yeah. So to medal at that would be really good. And then the Paris Olympics 2024 would be the next one. And then because I'm still 21, hopefully I've got another 2 Commonwealths and 2 Olympics in me. But we just have to see. You never know what happens.
Yeah, I mean, again, like looking at your numbers, looking at the like what you've achieved so far, there's nothing to say.
Very doable.
There's nothing to say that you won't do it. So, first things first, obviously, good luck with that, because like it's always good to see British weightlifters up there.
It's not a big sport in our country, is it?
No, not at all.
It really isn't.
No.
So yeah, it's always good.
It makes me a little bit happier that you have come from a CrossFit background as well, because it's just like,
it's good. It gets too much hate.
It does. But I also understand what I'm a CrossFit coach and gym owner, so I understand fully why it gets the hate that it does.
Yeah.
But it's just
totally deserved sometimes.
Totally yeah. Sometimes it's deserved, but most of the time with most good gyms it's not. So
fair enough.
So obviously training wise, you say you maxed out today, and you've got a coach, which is awesome as well.
Yes.
Have you got any sort of, if you're somebody who wanted to get into weightlifting, if there's somebody that maybe is just starting out at CrossFit and wants to get better at weightlifting, have you got any go-to advice or tips that you'd love to give people?
Yeah, always try and get advice from weightlifting coaches. Like no hate or anything, but not CrossFit coaches, like weightlifting coaches.
I'm our weightlifting coach, and I'm a weightlifting coach. No, like legit, you should weightlift like a weightlifter. Yeah,
that would be the top one. And another one would be, don't watch too many like lifting videos on Instagram or YouTube, because the more weightlifting you do, the more you'll find out how your body wants you to lift, rather than like, I could try and lift like a Chinese person, but I would never be able to, just because well, we're not the same.
You're too tall.
Yeah. When we go to competitions and I'm like stood in line with everyone that's my size, I feel normal.
What it is, right? I don't meet many people that are like not taller than me. So when I do, I kind of have to just like.
There's like one person in the gym that's not as tall as Josh, and she cops it both barrels every time she's in.
Hey, us hobbits have got to stick together. Sorry, Fraer. Go on anyway. Go on. You were saying.
And another one would just be like, it is a very frustrating sport. So as long as you can just keep enjoying it, then you're winning, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of like technique, like obviously, I'm not saying, I don't want to say that your jerk is different, let's say.
Unorthodox.
It's unorthodox, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. And you jerk more than me, so it's by no means a big. Like, so we'll go with that. But you have got a unique style. Was that just something that got naturally, and like you sort of just stuck with it and played with it, or is it something that you sort of cultivated?
I don't know. I didn't even know I did.
Brilliant. Just
I live different. What?
Phil's just ruined for his entire weightlifting career. There's 2 Commonwealth Games and 2 Olympics.
Now.
Goners.
I don't know. I think, like, looking back from my first competitions to how I'm lifting now, there's been changes throughout every single year. And I think, I don't know if it's because the weight's got heavier, it just feels better in different positions.
Right.
Or I have just technically worked on the lifts more.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but like I have noticed a change, but no one's actually ever said that to me. So it's
like I say, it 100% works for you. Like,
yeah,
and I actually, because Josh is our weightlifting coach, I actually messaged him and I was like just the step forward's quite short, and I was like, there's something quite different there. So I messaged Josh to be like, hey, like, this is interesting. And I was like, well, I'm going to find out. Let's see if it's something that's done on purpose. Or...
I have got short legs as well. So if I did go any further out, I would be in the splits.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, that's a very good point. There's something I didn't even think of, to be fair. Awesome. So obviously, training advice for CrossFitters, just to summarise, find a weightlifting coach initially. And again, I like me and Josh both back that, because that's why Josh is our weightlifting coach. Yes, he does CrossFit as well, but his goal is to lift like a weightlifter. So
actually, something I want to quickly touch on, Fraer, with you as well. Obviously, you started in gymnastics, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then obviously moved over to weightlifting. So as one of the main restrictions people tend to find coming into weightlifting is like the positions. Okay, so like obviously not everybody's lucky enough to walk into a gym for the first time and be able to overhead squat with a full barbell. Yeah. So the benefit that obviously you've got is you've come from gymnastics, and I'd imagine that the first time you overhead squatted, once you kind of got used to sort of like getting into the position, it was a case of, it's that easy, this.
Yeah.
So have you found like a good carryover from obviously gymnastics to weightlifting? Did that sort of like help accelerate?
Yeah, with the mobility side, then you can get into like a deep squat and anything overhead that your shoulders are mobile enough to do it. I think they're all the good sides, but there is like downsides to it, like being too flexible, then that can play a part as well, because like when I did gymnastics, my back and hips were the most flexible things. So having a flexible back's fine, but you do need to work on the strength around it. If not, then that's when injuries are going to get caused. It does help being flexible when, like, if you miss a lift, you can just put it behind you and your shoulders just follow. But yeah, there is downsides to it as well. Like my elbow is quite flexible as well, and some pictures, like when I'm in a snatch or anything, it looks like my elbow's like actually overextending. Yeah. It looks painful on the pictures, like on my jerks as well. But that's just how my elbows go. Yeah. So as long as I keep them, the muscles around them strong, then there's no problem with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's interesting that obviously you mentioned about your back. Before I did weightlifting, I did a little bit of gymnastics, nothing competitive or anything like that. It was more like gymnastics specific strength training, should we say. So I come from that background, and I brought the flexibility from that into weightlifting. And within 18 months, 2 years, I'd managed to fracture my lower back because I was too flexible. It's absolutely fine now because I've obviously rehabbed it and stuff like that. And actually, I can no longer do the splits, but I'm better at weightlifting. Does that make sense? So like, I'm flexible enough. But obviously, I've lost that very end range. But touching on what you said then. Yeah,
definitely. I'm like I can still do my gymnastic stuff, but I'm definitely not as flexible as I used to be. Nowhere near.
But you mentioned something interesting on a post of the day. It was something about you were doing your tumbling and gymnastics in the background or something. And did you say that, yes, it's harder because you're heavier, but you feel better because your legs are stronger? Was it something like that?
Yeah, it was. So when you're in the air, you feel heavier, like you just feel like a heavier person. But actually, because I've got more power, then like my backflips are higher than they've probably ever been.
Right.
It's mad to think, because if I was as strong as I am now while doing gymnastics, I would have been a totally different gymnast. I would have been better. Like I'm stronger, and obviously the only thing is I'm not as flexible, but the tumbles and stuff feel better, and everything feels faster, and the power that you have to use when you do tumbling is just it's a lot better now than it ever was when I did tumbling.
It's cool, like, it's such a great shout out to weightlifting. That it's like just you don't have to just snatch or clean and jerk, or maybe not the full lifts, but like you don't have to just be a weightlifter to do those. I mean, there's no reason why everyone shouldn't be hang power cleaning, for example.
No, because looking back, I trained at Wakefield in tumbling for a few years, and the stuff, like, we used to spend like 45 minutes doing conditioning, and that'd be like, we'd do crazy stuff. Well, looking back, I thought it was crazy, like loads of running, and they used to make us do you know what a crash mat is? There used to be like 5 of us on there doing tuck jumps, and it used to be mad. But looking back now I'm doing weightlifting, you could have probably taken half of that out and just put a little weightlifting session in, and you would have got more benefits out of doing that than some of the stuff that we were actually doing at the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's that really interesting sport now, isn't it? You know, where they combine like weightlifting and gymnastics, and it's good, isn't it?
To be fair, look, like my girlfriend is a gymnastics coach. She still does it part time, and some of the stuff that she tells me that they have the kids doing, I'm like, why don't you just do like pistols instead? Like, talk about doing squats, like single leg squats, and I'm like, you're just making it complicated. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, just, and they work on like pull up strength and things like that, and I'm like, And she actually got some of the kids doing like chin over bar holds because they couldn't do pull ups, instead of just allowing them to flail around on the bar. And obviously, and she was telling me about one of the younger girls before all this started that can now do pull-ups after doing a load of chin over bars. I'm like, it's not. I'm like,
no, when I did gymnastics, I think I could do probably like 8 strict pull-ups, but now I'm not doing gymnastics, I can do even more.
Yeah.
But I should have been doing more when I did gymnastics, really.
That's good. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely very interesting. And again, like we talk about my girlfriend being an ex-gymnast, she's like, she has the same issues with like low back, being the hips are super flexible. She can actually jerk more than she can squat.
Wow.
Now I know that's
not clean squat.
Squat. Like, I know that's not okay. Like, but like, because I think she's got what, 75 kilogram jerk,
something like that,
and like a 70 kilogram front squat.
And she doesn't train, by the way. Like, she doesn't.
Yeah, she
doesn't really do anything. Just walks in and goes, whoa, 75 kilos.
She literally sees that she's like, we do split jerks today. I'll come to the gym. Yeah. All right.
That's so good.
Again, just that background of gymnastics and overhead overhead stability is really good in gymnastics, you find, because of all the handstand work. So I say,
you tend to from doing gymnastics, you understand your body more as well, which helps the transition into weightlifting, because if you don't know what positions your body's going in at certain points, then you can't really do that with a barbell as well.
Sure. And as we pointed out, I'm not the greatest weightlifter, but and when my missus, we went to like a gymnastics class, and she's like, she says to me, so you know when you're upside down when you do your flip, do you know where you are? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I know that I'm turning as fast as I can. That is it. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you? I'm like, you know where you are when you're upside down? And she's like, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that. When I did tumbling, that was something that I had to learn. So, like, I'm not very like coordinated or anything. And I can remember this one session we were doing double backs into the foam pit, and I did 1.5 and then just stopped. And then, like, all of a sudden, my head was like at the bottom of the pit, and my feet were just sticking out of it, just because I didn't know where I was.
My favourite one is when they're like, you know, when you're doing like a back tuck or whatever, and it's like, right, spot the floor. It's like, my eyes are closed.
No.
My eyes are closed, and I'm praying I land on my feet. That's all that's happening. Like, spot the floor.
Like I'm looking at anything.
Yeah. Just for yourself.
Something I quickly want to ask you as well, back to weightlifting.
Yeah.
When are you getting new Romalio 4s? Because obviously you've got to get 2 sets, because you do the whole like different. Because I want a white set and a black set, so I can copy you and have one on each foot. But I've not got £400 to spend on weightlifting shoes.
They're so expensive. Yeah.
What he's saying is Josh has got the same size feet as you, so he just wants to swap with you.
Good at weightlifting as well.
They're nice shoes, but I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews on them.
Right.
I never even tried the 3s. I've always just stuck with the 2s, so I'll probably just stick with mine, to be fair.
The thing is though, like I've had my 2s for about 5-6 years now.
Oh yeah, they
don't wear out, do they really?
No. To say how much, like I wear mine nearly every single day, so you're getting your money's worth when you pay that much money.
Yeah, definitely. You should be getting them free. Anyone have a word with Nike?
Yeah.
Like, do you know who I am and where I'm going?
They don't care. We're weightlifters. It's not a sport.
No, apparently not.
No, unfortunately, endorsement deals for weightlifting aren't exactly breaking the bank yet. So obviously, just something I always like to ask people about is, like I say, weightlifting isn't your full-time job. What else do you do around weightlifting? Do you have a full-time job? Do you have a part-time job? Or
I work in a CrossFit box.
Right.
Okay.
I teach the weightlifting and gymnastics classes. Surprise. I'm also like a nanny / babysitter. So there's 2 kids that I look after. Just take them to school, bring them back, make sure they're fed.
You talking about snatch yet?
I was going to say.
Do you know
Can
what?
we do muscle ups?
It's really interesting. So one's a boy and one's a girl, and the girl's more interested in what I do than the boy is.
Right.
Which it's not. It's good to see, but it's not what you thought it would be.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's really funny. She likes to lift stuff up. She went to me, Freya, do that buzzy thing. So she lifted it up to her shoulders and then pressed it above her head, and she went, do it now. So she means like, in weightlifting when you do a competition, you have to wait for the buzzer to put the weight down. So she was waiting for me to do that.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So that's good.
I hope you give me 3 green lights as well.
Yeah. One day.
White lights,
sorry. I'm colourblind.
You didn't know. Sorry. One day, that little lad's going to look back and be like, shit, I wish I'd have done that. Because like, I know every lad at a CrossFit gym goes, why did I do football and rugby when I could have been doing gymnastics and weightlifting?
Yeah.
I fucked that up somewhere. He's going to look back and think, shit, messed that up. Well,
Yeah,
you also
should
can't
have done
resist
it,
the
but-
lifting more than you.
yeah,
That's not true either.
there is that. So, obviously, want to be super conscious of your time. They're going to move on to some just like fun questions to finish with. So, first one is a book or a film recommendation.
Okay, I'm really bad and I'm not a book person
That's
at
all right.
all. But I did read one book once and it was Water for the Elephants.
Right.
I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a film as well. So basically I watched the film and then read the book. It's got, what's it called? Him Out of Twilight. The vampire out of Twilight.
Oh, the one that everyone fancies.
Batman.
Yeah, this was years ago. This was when like Twilight was like popular. This is why I read it. I really enjoyed it, and to say I enjoyed a book is a big thing because I don't.
Okay.
So is that your book and film recommendation, or
No, that would be my book. The film one. I like chick flicks and stuff and comedies. So 10 Things I Hate About You is a really good one. It's not really a boy watch.
I've never even heard of that.
I've watched it actually. You know, it's got
Of course
Heath
you
Ledger
have.
in it. Yeah. You'd really get along with
it has, yeah.
You'd really get along with my missus, by the way. Like, yeah, it's got Heath Ledger in it. It's all right. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, you defend it, bro. You defend it.
I can see why girls really like it. So, sorry, lost my notes. There we go. Now, this is always my favourite question because you've not really swore throughout the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I want to know what your favourite swear word is.
I don't know. I don't really swear.
If you had to.
Yeah. If I'd really upset you, what would you go for?
Like I don't really swear, but in my head, like do you know, like I'm like an eye roll person, so I'll just eye roll everyone. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like I'm that type of person.
Yeah. That's the one. I like it.
But like if no one's talking, I just go, oh, for fuck's sake.
Amazing.
There you go. There it is.
That's the one. Okay. Also, so you coach at a CrossFit gym as well, and you're obviously a weightlifter. And I always like to know your like number one dick gym move. So like, what is it that somebody does that really annoys you? So I always use the example of chalking up for press ups, or like chalking up for burpees or something. And I'm like, why are you using chalk for that? Dirtying my gym floor.
Mine would be seeing people do squats on a, I don't even know what the machine's called. Is it called Smith machine?
Smith machine.
Yes.
One of them ones where you just can't even move, like you're just going up and down.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
One of them, or like, I don't know, just seeing basic gym girls do the basic gym moves, like, oh, get booty by doing this. You're like, just squat.
Yeah.
Just do some lunges or some squats.
To be fair, you can say that you have the biggest quads in the world. Like, for a 55 kilogram person, you have.
I think quads. It helps that I'm
40
small,
kilograms
though.
of quad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've basically got a 6 foot guy's quads, is what you need. No, they are impressive.
Brilliant. I like it. And to be fair, it's something that winds me up as well. I once saw a guy when I was off training, and basically I was abroad. I was in a like normal little tiny gym, and there was a Smith machine in the corner. I saw a guy with like a bar pad, and he was squatting on the Smith machine. And I was like, "You're brilliant."
Yeah.
I was like, "Thanks for coming. You've made my."
Please stop.
There's so many things wrong with that right there.
I know. I was like, right, okay. I was like,
the bar pads that you put on your back, we call them tampons. Bar tampons.
Absolutely.
Like if anyone uses them, like.
I nearly said that and then was like, actually, that quick. I was like, don't want to upset anyone.
Well, I said it, so.
Oh, it's fine coming from you.
It's all right coming from you. You're allowed to say it.
Feels like very destroyed your split jerk. Like,
I know, yeah.
Not very nice as it is.
What upset you split jerk? Do you know what I forgot to ask about? I actually completely forgot about it. So, obviously you are a big donut fan, and that's your Instagram is powered by donuts, which obviously everyone can appreciate. So what's the number one donut? What's the go-to?
I like like proper donuts. But I've either been to Doughnut or places like that. And I've actually become a little bit of a donut snob.
Okay.
And it's really bad because I've had really nice donuts. When I go and get them from like Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts now, I'm like, it's nice. It's a donut. But
I love a good Krispy Kreme, me as well.
Yeah.
I think connoisseur is a better word.
Yeah. But to be fair, I don't think I've ever had one that I don't like. So
have you seen the thing at the minute? It's like make your own donuts.
Yeah.
So they send you out a package and you like decorate them yourself and make your own thing. Yeah.
Yep, I saw that and then started my cup to 55. So I was like,
that's upsetting. I was thinking about it, I was like, that'd be something good to do with Cora, like my daughter, and then I was like, nah, I'd just eat them. I was like,
and I don't think they deliver here either.
All right, okay.
So that's quite sad.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Dunkin' Donuts is open, so guess where I'm going today.
I like how that you're not too bothered about a Nike sponsorship, but I reckon we can get you a Dunkin' Donuts sponsorship.
I'll be so much more happier.
Brilliant. Okay, so last few questions. These ones are that really quick fire, this or that. Generally CrossFit related, and the last one you've already answered because it's cookies or donuts. And first one, snatch or clean and jerk?
Clean and jerk.
Running or rowing?
Running.
Ooh. Front squats or back squats?
Front squats.
Pizza or ice cream?
Oh, that's a hard one. You can't do them.
All right. What about a pizza with ice cream on it, or
can't do that.
Ice cream flavored pizza?
No, you're just a savage. You can't mix those two things.
Pizza anyway, so
I'd probably choose the ice cream.
Ice cream. Now, obviously, you've got pizza or ice cream or donuts. I feel like donuts is definitely going to be the winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just to throw one out there, that'd be even more important: Olympic gold medal or £1 million.
Olympic gold medal.
Nice. There's no other answer for
you. No.
Awesome. So obviously that's the end of the podcast for today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
I've had really good fun. Obviously, where do people find you? How do people get in touch with you if they want to know more about you?
Instagram, Fraer 55 kg.
Excellent. We'll certainly link that up in the show notes, so that we can obviously pass it on. Obviously, like I said before at the start of the show, guys, we now have X Endurance as our sponsor. They are offering a 20% discount on all of their products via the website, the European website. So that's xendurance.eu. And like I say, I highly recommend their recovery blend, which is Recovery and Rebuild Vanilla Protein. To get 20% off that is AgogeTV 20. And again, Fraer, thank you very much for joining us again today. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, everybody. Usual stuff. Like, subscribe, share, comment, anything that you can that helps us grow the channel, and it's much appreciated. Again, thanks very much, guys. Peace.